Welcome back to Giant Monster Games. My name is Adrian, and today we are doing Mardu Reanimator for the Wild Weekend Sunday video, where we play other old decks that we haven't seen on the channel, usually to make up some more extra games that we didn't see enough of them. People have asked about this deck, so we are going to play it. I don't like this opening hand, by the way. I'm going to mulligan this away. Mostly because a single Bloodstained Mire doesn't really do it for me. This is theoretically better. Yeah, I think we're going to keep it. I think we're going to keep... Not amazing. Collective Brutality, you can go on the bottom. Don't really want you. And I think we just Blood Crypt tapped go. We're not going to pay life for it and ship it to our opponent. We don't have any of our... We have engine cards, but we don't have targets, and we don't have reanimation in our hand, which is not very good. I mean, this deck is, for those that don't know, this deck is quite old. There's a link in the description below the video. You can actually check out this deck. The idea of this deck, for the record, I just really realized this guy is like almost completely covering stuff here. I need to fix that. Anyhow, the idea of this deck is we are basically playing a Reanimator deck, so we're going to throw stuff into our graveyard, and then we're going to reanimate it, bring it back out of our graveyard, and while we do that, we are actually a land destruction deck. So we're playing Mardu Reanimator Land Destruction, which is a mouthful, but it is a very fun mouthful. So that sounds completely wrong. I take back everything I just said. Footsteps is actually not bad. What do we do here? So the Cathartic Reunion is really good if we have things in our hand, not so good if we don't. I think what we do, though, is we play the Clifftop Retreat, and we need to pitch two things. I'm really tempted to Cathartic Reunion, just to hopefully draw into stuff. I think that's the way we're going to go. So, red and black, whatever. And I think we pitch Lightning Axe, and I don't think we... yeah, we can pitch the Swamp. We can pitch the Swamp. It'll be okay. And hopefully we don't draw into more land. We do draw into... nothing. We draw into nothing. That's a solid draw into nothing. I mean, we can throw Elesh Norn into the graveyard. The thing about Elesh Norn is it's not an ideal target for us. It's a target to deal with creature-based decks. So if technically on turn 3, if we are going against something super aggro where they have a ton of creatures, I'm thinking elves or even just like mono red or any red burn deck, Elesh Norn does a pretty good job. Against Storm, Elesh Norn is going to be really handy if we can get Elesh Norn into the graveyard. And yeah, so we are going against Storm. Can we win against Storm? Potentially. Potentially. If we had our turn 3, we would have... I guess we Collective Brutality. So... what do we think? A target opponent loses life. Target creature. Target opponent reveals his hand. We just choose a sorcery. I think we go Entwine for 3 modes. We can, or we can Entwine for 2. No, let's Entwine for 3. So opponent, creature, opponent. We pay the cost, black end, whatever. And we need to discard 2 cards. First is going to be the Elesh Norn. And the second, I think, is just going to be Lingering Souls, because we don't have another land. So might as well. We're going to kill off his Baral, which he needs to go off. And we are going to choose one of his things. Ooh. Remand, Desperate Ritual. I think Metamorphose is probably the best one to get rid of out of here. Yeah. Yeah, Metamorphose. I mean, Remand is also probably a good card to get rid of, but Metamorphose allows him to, like, fix up his mana, so we kind of can't let him keep it. We probably also could have thrown away, theoretically, the Footsteps as well. The thing about throwing away Lingering Souls is we can play Lingering Souls next turn. How is Baral not dead? Oh, Baral's a 3-something. Oh, man. Totally didn't realize that. I mean, I forgot, I should say. I didn't realize. I forgot that he is a 3-1. I thought he was a 1-3. I thought he was a 1-2. My bad. Misplay on my part there. Probably should have just done 2 and then just thrown away the Elesh Norn. He doesn't have enough to go off yet. He can swing in for damage, which is going to be fine for our opponent. The more he can get us down, the less he needs to, like, push to go off. And he looks like he drew a Flooded Strand, which is fine by us. We need another land, and then we can... well, even another land isn't going to do it for us. Another land will help us a lot. Ashen Rider will theoretically help us a lot as well. We have 2 options. We can Collective Brutality again. I think we're actually going to do that. Collective Brutality, Entwine for 2. Loses life, and opponent discards cards. So electing our opponent for both of those. Pay. Get rid of Ashen Rider. As in, we'll be a target as soon as we get another land. Ashen Rider is actually a really good target at this point, so... And our opponent may remand our Collective Brutality. I would not be surprised if he does. If he doesn't, I'd be surprised, I should say. Does he? Does he remand it? $1 million question. There we go. He is going to remand it. Which is fine for us. Cost 1. He draws a card. Okay, that's actually... Ooh. That's actually not a bad thing for our opponent. Our opponent basically remands, sends us back to our hand, and he draws 2 cards. It's actually a pretty good value. Some pretty good value, actually, for our opponent. So, what do we know he has in his hand? We know he has... for sure... Well, we have it revealed here. We can take a look. So we know he still has the Grape Shot, which is a thing. We know he still has the Desperate Ritual, which those 2 combined is not enough to go off. Usually he needs at least another 1, or sometimes another 2. I say this, and this is a little bit of a spoiler for all those people that are actually watching this video, that Storm is actually the next budget deck we are doing on the channel. So that'll be on next Friday, or this upcoming Friday, if you're watching this video the day it comes out, or the week it comes out. So yeah, so I've been playing a ton of Storm these days, so I have a pretty solid idea on what we need to do to stop Storm, because I've definitely been stopped a number of times in my testing. Storm is not easy to play either, by the way. I will say that straight out. And if we draw a land, we are... Ooh, we do draw a land. Well, I think that's GG. Yes, I would like to pay 2 life. I mean, not GG, but it's going to be super painful for our opponent. So, we play Footsteps, targeting the Ashen Rider. Black, whatever. Ashen Rider comes in. We get to exile target permanent. So, this is going to be targeting Brawl, because we can't have our opponent getting extra value. And then we can't attack in because it doesn't give it haste, which is funny. Then we have to sacrifice our permanent. Yes. And we are going to sacrifice this guy. Second trigger, targeting his Steam Vents. And go to your opponent's turn. So that should slow our opponent down a little bit. 3 mana sometimes is enough for him to go off. So, oh, and he plays another Brawl. Super annoying. That's super duper annoying. We have another one in hand. So... I guess we just Footsteps again. I don't see why not. So, black, white. And then we're going to grab Ashen Rider once again out of the graveyard. Super funny. We probably should play Lingering Souls one of these times, so this guy will blow up for all. Okay. And then we're not doing anything else this turn because we can't swing in, and we're going to blow up the mountain because he needs it to start playing other spells. So we have to sacrifice creature, again, sacrificing specifically Ashen Rider, blowing up his mountain. Ship it to our opponent's turn. So he needs a mountain in order to go off, because he cannot play his Desperate Ritual, Manamorphose, or the other one, I can't remember the name of it. He can't play any of his red spells, which he needs to actually go off at this point. So he needs, Woodfall Primus is also really good for us. I think at this point, though, we're going to just go on the Lingering Souls game plan here. Throwing it out. And ship it to our opponent's turn. Yep. Shipping it to our opponent's turn. And we're going to start swinging in for 2 damage every single turn. Woodfall Primus is also like a super duper awesome card as well in this deck. Because Woodfall Primus, when it comes in, we get to, when it enters the battlefield, we destroy target non-creature permanent. In this case, land. And then when it leaves the play, when it dies, it also persists, so it dies and then comes back with a -1 counter, and we get our exile something else. So, or just destroy, not exile, destroy something else, which is super funny. Super funny for me. Ooh, Faithless Looting. That is actually pretty darn good. So good, do I play it now? I think the answer is no. I think we swing in, and then we play Faithless Looting. So, going to combat. Waiting for our opponent. Our opponent, again, if our opponent draws a mountain, they may be able to go off. So we need to be quick here. What we do need is, if next turn, if we get a land and Unholy Ritual, I think it's not Holy Ritual. Is it Unholy Ritual? I think it's Unholy Ritual. We can probably see it in the side thing over here somewhere. We can actually get Woodfall Primus and get rid of both of these guys. So that is a pretty good option. So our opponent takes 2 damage, which is fine. Faithless Looting. Paying... yeah, might as well go for red. On this guy. Red-black. We need to discard 2 cards. Cathartic Reunion. Well, that's a thing. So I think we just go like this. Pitching Woodfall Primus and the Elesh of Norns. Throw down the Dragonskull Summit. And in theory, we can actually Collective Brutality our opponent right now, just to make him discard a card. I'm not actually against that. Oh, actually, we can also Faithless Looting again. I think that's actually a better bet. Faithless Looting again. So we're going to be aiming to throw away 2 cards. So we're going to draw 2 cards, throw away 2 cards. I guess these 2? I think that's the best way to go. Ship it to our opponent. We didn't draw anything we needed. There's a lot of stuff we could have got. That would have been really good. We didn't get any of them, though. So ship it through to our turn. Our opponent is digging. Digging for a red source. So right now, we need... we don't need more land. We need an Unholy Burial, I think is what it is. Pretty sure that's what the name of the card is. I'm not remembering right now, which is not good. I should aim to remember these card names. I haven't played this deck in a little while, even though it is one of my favorite decks to play. And I want to play it more, but I don't. Okay. Well, this is a thing. So I think we're going to... Do we Faithless Looting before we attack? I don't think so. I think we go to combat, swing for 2, and then we're going to Faithless Looting. I think that's going to be the plan. Going to be the plan. We'll see how it works out. Attack with all creatures. 2 spirits. Not doing a whole lot here, but they're doing something. And then I think we're going to Faithless Looting, keeping the land in our hand because we don't necessarily need the extra land. So that's a thing. And going to our second main phase, playing Faithless Looting. We can use the red-black mana. Because at this point, again with the stuff. Lightning Axe, I think we're going to keep up. So I think it's just the Dragonskull Summit and the Woodfall Primus we toss. And I'm really tempted at this point, actually, to... If we Collective Brutality, we might be able to grab something out of their hand that they need. If we Lightning Axe... Nah, I think we're gonna Collective... I think we're going to Faithless Looting once again. It's gotten a little bit hard because I'm like, I know that if our opponent draws into a mountain, they're probably going to go off. But if we can draw into any of our Unburial Rites, that's one of the cards we need. If we throw it into the graveyard right now, is that a good thing? I think that is a good thing. Because the next turn we're going to use it and we're going to go off. So we need to get to one more turn. If we get to our turn, if our opponent doesn't go off, we're going to kill both of his lands. And then we're actually going to have some threats to swing in with as well. So this is the game plan. Does our opponent draw red? If they don't, they die. They get a Brawl, which is something. I don't think it's something enough, though. I don't think it is. So going to our turn. And Bloodstained Mire, pretty indifferent on that one there. Woodfall Primus, black, red, white, and more red black. And there we go. Unburial Rites, targeting Woodfall Primus. Ooh, Storm. I'm actually surprised. Our Storm player just didn't have it. Oh, and they know they're done. They know they're done. Okay, going to sideboard. We are playing against Storm. So what do we have against Storm? So enter the battlefield, activate abilities of source. That doesn't help us out at all. Guttural Response, counter target blue instant spell. That is could be a good idea. Maybe. It may be a good idea. Let's put it over here. Can you put it over here? I cannot put it over there. Guttural Response might be a good idea. It'll help us counter his Remand if he has them, which is, in theory, kind of good. Timely Reinforcements doesn't really help us out. Blessed Alliance doesn't really help us out either. because he's not necessarily going to be attacking him with creatures. Spellbomb. Spellbomb does help us out, though. Because in theory, I actually think putting in both of the Spellbombs and one guttural response, I think. Stoning Silence does nothing for us, so it's going to be those. Lightning Axes definitely stay in. Faithless Looting stays in. Collective Brutality stays in. I think we take out a single... I think we take out just one Cathartic Reunion. And we can actually take out the Elesh Norns because they don't do anything for us in this matchup. And I think is that what we run back as? Actually, I think we go like this. We throw in all of the guttural responses because we can also use guttural response because guttural response works on. Oh, looks like we got a subscriber while we're recording. So guttural response works on the remands, which he's going to use to basically bring back the his grape shot. But it doesn't work on gifts because gifts is, I'm 99% positive, a sorcery. So I don't think it actually works on gifts. So maybe a guttural response is not as good. So I think we're gonna take out a guttural response, and I think what we do is we leave in the Cathartic Reunion. I think that's how we're gonna run it back. So it's not Spellbomb to deal with Graveyard, guttural responses to deal with specifically Remand if we get there. So we can hopefully counter his crazy combo action. We're gonna see. This is the plan. Also because no one expects that. What do I think of this opening hand? I actually think it's solid. I think this is really solid. Again, be able to pull stuff out of his hand is gonna be really good. Keep this Collective Brutality. So Collective Brutality, for those who don't know, it has escalate, which means you discard a card, that you pay its cost. In this case, it's discard a card. Target opponent reveals his or her hand. You choose an instant sorcery. Target creature gets -2/-2, or target player loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. So every single time you discard a card, so if you discard 2 cards and pay its cost, you get to do all 3 of those things. Otherwise, you choose 1, 2, or 3, depending on how many cards you discard. So in this case, we're going to be using it to make him discard instants and sorceries, because that's what Storm is all about, playing instants and sorceries. So that is going to be our game plan. Nice thing about it as well, we can also use it to drain him, which means he needs to get his Storm count even higher, which usually once they're like going off on Storm, it's not that hard, but it still means they need to successfully Storm off even higher. So, ooh, and we have Guttural Response. Guttural Response as well, by the way. For those that don't know, Guttural Response is counter target blue instant spell. Which for us is going to be fantastic. And I think we thin our library a little bit. So yeah. Bloodstained Mire. We have a Blood Crypt, so we're actually probably going to use this to grab either an Isolated Chapel or maybe the black. Yeah, black-white, Isolated Chapel. And we'll crack in response to his Polluted Delta. And Isolated Chapel, or correct, Godless Shrine. Isolated Chapel is the fetch version, so we're not going to pay life for it. I'm okay. He's not going to go off turn 2. If he does, that means he has the most insane hand humanly possible, which in theory can happen, but is usually not very happen. The other big thing about like Storm is usually you're kind of like doing this kind of like Serum Visions, you know, dig, trying to find stuff, and then once you're like, okay, I think I have a good enough hand, I can go off. Storm is actually very fun to play, but it is also like, it's kind of like gambling as well, playing Storm. You're like not necessarily guaranteed to get anything good, ever. Waiting on our opponent still. Opponent still Serum Visions, so they are waiting on stuff. Okay, well, I don't think we need a Blood Crypt at this time because we're going to Collective Brutality. So let's Collective Brutality our opponent. And we're going to escalate for 2 modes. The only 2 modes we can do. So opponent, paying the costs, and we're going to throw away the Woodfall Primus because we want him in our graveyard. And, ooh, so our opponent does have the Remand. They have Goblin Electromancers. Goblin Electromancers for days. We need to get rid of one of these 2 guys. Remand we have a response to, so we're not going to bother getting rid of that. We'll get rid of one of his rituals, I guess. Desperate Ritual goes away. and then ship it to our opponent's turn. Well, we know our opponent has nothing. Our opponent has a really bad hand right now. Double Goblin Electromancer is just not what they want, ever. This is not a good opening hand for Storm. You usually want like one Goblin Electromancer or one Baral. You don't want both. I mean, he could be using them theoretically to be swinging in, which is good. But yeah, we also have a Lightning Axe, so we can totally deal with one of them. But dealing with both is going to be a thing that we need to do. At this point, I think we... What? Blood Crypt. Yeah, I think we're going to... What can we throw away? If we escalate this twice... Actually, no, let's just escalate it once. I'm going to use 2 modes. It's going to be creature gets minus, target opponent reveals hand. Opponent, creature, black. And I'm going to discard just a swamp. Do I discard a swamp or do I discard a Blood Crypt? I think discarding the swamp is better because we can actually play Blood Crypt. So killing his Goblin Electromancer, which is nice. Oh, I misplayed that, guys. I misplayed. Oh no. I should have played the land first and then held up for Guttural Response. Yep, that's my bad. That was 100% my bad. That was a misplay on my part. Well, let's play the Blood Crypt. And we're not going to play it. Yeah, I mean, the good thing is it comes back to our hand. Which is nice. But we could have actually made it so we didn't remove cards. Basically 2 for 2'd him. Like we play 2 cards, he plays 2 cards. Theoretically, we played 3 cards, actually. No, we would have got rid of his guy from Blackmaster. So, yes, I misplayed that. I misplayed that in a big way. Well, we're going to do it again next turn anyways, so I'm not too worried about it. The thing is, when we're doing stuff like this, when we're forcing him to use, like, Remand, we're, like, draining him of what he needs to do. So we're kind of, like, slowing our opponent down. So he swings in with Electromancer, which is fine. And he's going to play the other Electromancer probably on his second main phase. We're going down to 19. I think we're favored to win this, though. I mean, again, if we draw into... We need to draw into Footsteps at the Goryo. If we draw into Unburial Rites or Unholy Unburial or Ruh-roh. Oh, and Blood Moon. Oh, that's fun. That's fun. We have a bunch of red mana now. We don't have white mana, which is neat. That's the thing that happens once in a while. Goblin Electromancer. That is pretty darn funny. Well, we have another mountain, theoretically, with Ghost Quarter. That's super funny. Okay, what do we do here? I think we are going to Collective Brutality and then Lightning Axe our opponent. I think that's what we're going to do. So, Escalate. So, target creature gets -2. Target opponent reveals hand. Casting this. And might as well kill the Electromancer. And we need black and a red in this case. And we're going to throw away... What? What do we throw away? Might as well throw away land. And we're not going to Lightning Axe this turn. So he has Opt and Grape Shot. Well, let's just get rid of Opt. Don't give him the option. Why would I want to give him the option? And at this point, do I play the other land? I think I do. Playing Blood Crypt. Yeah, and no, we're not going to pay 2 life because it's going to come in his mountain anyways. And then we ship it to our opponent's turn. He's swinging in for 2 each turn, which is fine. At this point, I'm not sure how our opponent storms off. We're better positioned right now to technically win this. And the fact that we have a Lightning Axe, so we could, in theory, just get rid of this guy if he starts getting a little bit of a pain in our butt, which is a good thing. So we are in a pretty good spot. We are in a pretty good spot. Isolated Chapel, not quite what I want. I think, though, we ship it to our opponent's turn, and then we're probably going to just Lightning Axe this guy, tossing the Isolated Chapel. If this was a Plains, I would have kept it, but it is not. Okay. So our opponent attacks, and we are going to Lightning Axe it. Attacking Lightning Axe. Here you go. Yeah, Lightning Axe. We're going to discard a card, targeting you, paying the red mana, and discarding an Isolated Chapel. So that's the thing that happens. Ooh, Faithless Looting. Do I want Faithless Looting? Do I want a Faithless Looting right now, I guess is the real question. I think I don't, because we're still going to be keep one card. Actually, I don't think we need Guttural Response right now. I don't think we need it anymore. So I think we can choose the best of the 3 cards we're going to see. I guess it is Cathartic Reunion we keep. Is that a good idea? Is that a good idea? I think it is. Cathartic Reunion is what we keep up. Oh, theoretically we could have Faithless Looting again. Actually, I think that's actually a better idea. Nah, too late. I skipped my turn. It's okay. Not the end of the world. Our opponent is in a pretty rough spot right now, so we are okay. And we're skipping through to our turn. Again, we're looking for a Footsteps of the Goryo. If we find a Footsteps of the Goryo, we're in a pretty good spot. Clifftop Retreat. So let's just go this way. Which way? Yeah, this way. Mostly because we need red, theoretically. So you go away, and again, do I throw away another Guttural Response? I think so. I think we throw away another Guttural Response. And ship it to our opponent's turn. Next turn, we're going to Cathartic Reunion, I think. It depends. If we draw Footsteps to the Goryo, we play Footsteps to the Goryo. If we draw anything else, we Cathartic Reunion. So we're playing the top deck game. Playing the top deck game with our opponent. And again, our opponent has 3 cards. That's a pretty rough spot to be at for Storm. 4 cards now, technically. I don't think Storm can go off on 4 cards. I don't think they can. So... Actually, I don't think they... I'm positive they cannot. That's a pretty big ask to go off on 4 cards. If they had Electromancer or Baral in play, maybe. Ooh, okay, there we go. So, Cathartic Reunion. 1, 2... Pitching these 2 guys. We can get a Lingering Souls into play now. We can't even play it out of our hand anyways, so yeah. Might as well put it in the graveyard. Spellbomb is also going to be a really good thing. I think we actually just play Spellbomb Swamp. Play Spellbomb. And then do we blow up Spellbomb right now? I'm really tempted to just blow up Spellbomb right now, because we also get a draw card from it. So, do I do that now? I'll do it on our opponent's turn. And we'll hold up the Swamp in case we draw another Cathartic Reunion, just to be safe. Some more options to keep stuff, because we don't really need the extra land right now. It's not really that handy for us. I mean, theoretically, we draw the, like, Unholy Burial. I keep calling it by different names. If you know that, I've called it by like 7 different names at this point. Baral. Let's blow up your graveyard. Yes. Okay. Hold on. Was this put in a graveyard, from a graveyard, you may pay whatever. So, yes. Okay. And the answer is yes. Pay for it with black mana, and we draw a card. We draw Bloodstained Mire. Not really that handy for us. But we're going to blow up his graveyard, which is going to make his life a little bit more difficult. Not a ton more difficult, but a little bit more difficult. There's tons of cards we can draw into at this point to win. So we're not in a bad spot. Not a bad spot at all. Blowing up the Blood Moon also is not a bad idea. Hey, there's a Footsteps. That should, in theory, do it. And bang, bang, bang. I think I played that wrong. Oh, no, I didn't. No, we're good. We're good. We're good. And we're going to blow up the Blood Moon, I think. Yeah. Blowing up the Blood Moon. Okay. Playing Lingering Souls. Going to be a good idea. So, play the Swamp. Play the Lingering Souls. Always a good idea. And then we are going to go to our opponent's turn. At our end step, we're going to blow up probably his one of his lands here that produce double color, which is fun. Super fun. Creature dies. Comes back into play with persist, so it's a 5/5. And we blow up this guy. Bam. Goodbye. So 5/5 plus 2 in the air. This is going to be a short clock for our opponent unless they have a way of dealing with that. Which I don't think they do. I don't think they do. So, yeah. Have I ever told you guys I enjoy playing against Storm? I enjoy winning against Storm. Mostly playing with this deck against Storm is always super fun for me. Oh, our opponent's going to try for it. I think our opponent is going for... He's going for it. Can our opponent do it? Ooh. He might. He might. Ooh, gifts. Uh-oh. Rot-row. Keeping one of those guttural responses might have been a good idea. Our opponent might take this one. It's gonna be close. It's gonna be on the wire. So he's gonna get this. What is it? Desperate Ritual. What is this? Pyric Ritual? Pyrelic? How do I pronounce his name? Pyretic Ritual? So he's gonna get guttural response. Or not guttural response. He's gonna get Pyretic Ritual, Desperate Ritual. Metamorphose, and pieces to the puzzle. Okay. Usually interesting. So what do we give him? So we're choosing put 2 cards into the graveyard. So puzzle and Metamorphose go to the graveyard? I'm assuming that's what he wants. I don't want him drawing more cards, because drawing more cards, theoretically, can give him more answers. And especially with Metamorphose, this is going to get him 2 mana. So, yeah. We're just going to ship it through. Opponent is playing, it's on the wire. 3 cards in hand. Ooh, scary times. Metamorphose is good for opponent. Storm count at 5. He needs to get the storm count to, well, much higher than 5. If he has a, if he has a remand in hand, he can get his storm count to 10. Okay. He has double remand. 2 remands. Grape shot, grape shot. It's possible. Completely possible. Ooh, we might be going on the too little too late plan here. We did take a long time. We let him draw a lot more cards. So his storm count is still at 6. If he has another grape shot, he didn't have remand. If he has another grape shot, oh, Past in Flames. There we go. That's the one. So he can easily use grape shot again. Oh no, he'd need to, well, Metamorphose. Tons of things he can do. So he's got us. He's got us this time around. Okay. I should have held up the... I guess I probably should have held up the Spell Bomb. If I held up the Spell Bomb until he played Past in Flames, that's bad. Actually, a misplay on my part. Thinking back, it's definitely a misplay on my part. It would have forced him to have to play everything out. So, okay, well, that's the thing. We're going to game 3... 8 minutes on my clock, 11 minutes on our opponent's clock. Well, 9 minutes almost on my clock, and 12 minutes on his. So we're going to play a little bit faster, I think, for the next game. I think we can still do it. We got some time. We got time. It's all good. It's all good. So that Storm, we are so close. We were so close to having him. So close. Again, not drawing into another Footsteps, not drawing into one of our other stuff. We have so much draw as well. We have so much draw and filter. Well, let's say draw. We have a lot of filtering in our deck, so usually we can get there pretty fast, but not the chance today. Well, and I don't think we'd need to change anything up. Let's go to sideboard. I don't think there's anything we want to change up. Again, we don't need either of these guys. Guttural Response. Guttural Response doesn't really help out that much. It does help a little bit. So keeping them in is not a bad idea, but I think we just run it back the way it is, to be quite honest. The only other thing that may be handy is throwing in these guys. Specifically because they destroy target enchantment as well. The problem and reason why I don't think we're going to run them is because we only have a single plains, so if he does play down another Blood Moon, it doesn't help us out that much. So I think we're just going to run it back as is. We're going back the way it is. So hopefully we can draw into Lingering Souls or something a little bit faster this time. And, well, hopefully, fingers crossed, we have our optimum turn 3 play, which is basically Footsteps of the Goryo, one of these guys in our graveyard, which is completely possible. Completely possible. I think it happens 30% of the time you have like the perfect opening hand, or like by turn 3 you have all of the pieces and you're like, okay, turn 3, destroy 2 of our opponent's lands. Especially, even more so, when we are on the play, not on the draw. It's even more crazy, because our opponent is like going into their turn 3 with 0 mana. So that's always pretty fun. For me, I think it's fun. That was one heck of a match, though. I'm not gonna lie, that was one heck of a match. Oh, so good. So good. I just want to win against Storm. I just want to win all the time. Can I win against Storm, please? Can I beat Storm? I say this, and then I'm going to show you guys, hey, look at me, I'm going to win with Storm, guys. Because that's what next week's video is going to be all about. Playing Storm. Playing budget Storm. I think it's like an $85 deck. So it's not super budget. It's not like, usually I try to keep budget decks in like the $60 range, but this is definitely going to be more in the like $85 range, because you can't, well, let me back up. Let me take a couple steps back. You can make a super budget Storm for easily 40 bucks, but it is really not consistent. Like, I would say it probably wins like 1 in 3 games, because if you just don't get the right pieces, you don't do it. It just doesn't work. So maybe one day I'll do a super budget Storm and show you how to make, like, again, $40 Storm deck that doesn't win a lot of games, but the one we're playing is up there in the the winning range. So it's like 50-50 against any major decks. Does a lot better against certain matchups, so I mean it's winning a lot more. So it's much more competitive. Something to keep in mind as well. Actually, I should point this out while we're on story time here. Whenever I talk about like win ratios of a deck, there's never going to be the deck that is like, this is 100% win rate. Whenever you see a deck that is like, I say a 55 or a 60% win rate, that deck is fantastic. That's really good, because like no deck out there is like crazy high. So whenever a deck is like a 30 or 48% or 30 or 40% win ratio, still a really good deck, because that means when you take it out to FNM, even if you're not very good at piloting, yes, we're gonna play first. Even if you're not very good at piloting it, it should do relatively well. Bad opening. I mean, beautiful opening hand. Don't get me wrong. Like, this is literally what we want in opening hand. We just need mana. Just need mana. I don't want to mulligan this, but I have to. That was like the perfect opening hand, guys. I think we're gonna keep this mostly because we can Faithless Looting. Not the best opening hand. Ooh, yes. Put on top of our library. That is good. Okay, Bloodstained Mire. We're not going to keep it on top of our library. Sad days. Sad days for us. The worst and most saddest of days. I just realized, because it's going to get shuffled. As soon as we search, it's going to go away. So, Blood Crypt. Yes, we're going to pay the 2 life. Faithless Looting. Drawing 2 cards, discarding 2 cards. Ashen Rider is going to be discarded, and ooh, Ashen Rider, and we are in a bad spot because we don't have a second land. I was hoping to draw into a second land. That's rough. So might as well go Lingering Souls as well. That's the thing. That's the thing that happens sometimes. I hope we draw into another land. We really need another land. I was almost kind of banking on it, actually, to be quite honest, keeping a 1-lander. I was like, okay, well, we just need 1 more land, and we're rolling. But if we don't have a land, that's hard. So our opponent's what? Serum Visions? Okay. Wish you could discard easily. Oh, not discard. It's the other one. The one there's like weird white stuff coming onto the person's face. We can only get in like foil version, I think. Oh no. Oh, did they reprint it actually? I don't remember. I don't remember. I feel like I need to pick up my Serum Visions, a set of Serum Visions in real life. I have them online, but not in real life. We draw another Guttural Response. Well, this is a thing. This is a bad thing. Yeah, this is a very bad thing. Oh no, guys. Keeping 1-lander because I was like, okay, this is a good opening hand. Was not, it didn't work out very well for us. If he plays another Serum Visions, we can't counter it, but if he plays like an Opt, we can counter it, technically. Does he have, he'll play it on our turn if he does. If we draw into a land, Marsh Flats. Okay, good. Let's crack Marsh Flats. And do we just, what, do we just get a Plains? Do we get a Swamp? Do we get a Godless Shrine? I think we get a Godless Shrine. Godless Shrine, and yes, we're going to pay 2 life for it, and I think we're going to... Do we Collective Brutality? I think we Collective Brutality. And do we Collective Brutality for 2 Entwine? What are we going to discard? We can theoretically discard Lingering Souls. I think we're just going to go with 1. We're just going to do the 1. There's nothing that I really want to discard right now, so yeah. Okay, well, this is the thing. Oh, Gifts Ungiven is an instant. Oh, I was like 99% sure that it was sorcery. Well then. I think Metamorphose goes away. Yeah, Metamorphose is the one that we're going to get rid of. And now we need to hold up Guttural Response, no matter what. Because we can use it to counter his gifts. So he's not going to probably go off this turn. Or he might. He might actually try and go off. Gifts, Metamorphose is a really huge part of Storm. But he might try and go off. Pieces to the puzzle. 5 cards revealed. Brawl. Ooh, Empty the Warrens. Empty the Warrens is going to be really good against us. That is a thing. Okay, well, what did he put into his graveyard? He put Brawl, so he kept Empty the Warrens. Okay. That's scary. That is very scary. Okay, well, it's a thing. Going to our turn. Do we draw land? Land would be fun. Ooh, Woodfall Primus. That's a thing, too. I think we have to keep up Guttural Response. I don't think I have an option not to. Yeah. So we're going to keep up Guttural Response. And then, in theory, on our opponent's end step, if he plays Baral, we're going to Lightning Axe Baral. Goodbye, Baral. And then we can pitch the Woodfall Primus while we do it. Which should be fun. If we draw more land, we can get Lingering Souls and start swinging for creatures. But we just really need to hold up stuff. We can't let him go off. That's the big thing. Can't let our opponent explode. Sure, you can do the Misty Rainforest for me. Misty Rainforest. Okay. Does our opponent try? So our opponent's going for it. Ritual. Ritual. Yes. And then it's going to be what? Gifts? Or another ritual? Or Metamorphose? It's going to be one of those 3. One of those 3. Because he do has blue mana. Oh, another ritual. Oh, did he splice one of these into Arcane? He totally did. That's funny. You don't ever actually see that. Okay, well, that's a thing. More rituals. Interesting. Okay, so as soon as he plays gifts, we're going to just counter the gifts. Which no one sees Guttural Response coming. Like, Guttural Response is the Spanish Inquisition here. Don't get me wrong. Inquisition is... Okay, so here we go. Have fun with this. Here's a red. No gifts for you. You don't get gifts. No gifts ungiven. No one sees Guttural Response coming. Our opponent still has possibility. If he has a second gifts, he's golden. He still has 4 mana, 5 mana. Okay, another desperate ritual. And at this point, I wonder if Godless Shrine was the wrong choice. Maybe we should have got another Blood Crypt. Empty the Warrens. Yeah, that's a thing. That is a thing. So that is a lot of creatures. They don't have haste, which is nice. Oh, and creates 2 goblins. 2 goblins in each one of these. Oh my god. How do we deal with that? I don't think we do. I'm pretty sure we don't deal with that. That's insane. That is insane. That is a thing. There's a thing that happens. I didn't. Oh no. Well, I think we're gonna lose the Storm. Even though I was very passionate about not dying to Storm. Yeah. This is where we lose to Storm, right here. Because there's no way of me stopping all of these, and even if I do a Lingering Souls, we're only going to stop 2 of them, which means we're exactly at 0. Well, that's a GG, opponent. That is GG. I'm going to type GG in the thing here. Well, guys, thanks for watching. This has been Giant Monster Games. Until next time, my name's Adrian. You've been watching, oh yeah, Giant Monster Games. And don't forget to game like a giant monster. Thanks for watching the videos here on Giant Monster Games. If you want to support the channel directly, we now have a Patreon page which you can go and become part of the broader Giant Monster Games community. Additionally, if you want to see some other awesome videos, you can click right here or right here.